Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I have the new camping collection from Holo. We have 7 different nail polishes in a whole variety of finishes, and I feel like for those of you who have been wanting Holo to do something really fun, something really different from past releases, probably going to be the release that you are really excited about. The camping collection is available right now on the Holo website, and it is thankfully not limited edition. On top of this kind of large release, we also have 2 new non-nail polish items, a new cuticle oil, as well as a new base coat. I'll talk more on all of that towards the end of the video. All of the products featured in today's video were gifted to me by Holo, but today's video is not sponsored. Thank you very much to the Holo team for sending these over to me. As always, in the description box, links to where you can pick these polishes up, links to the brand's website, social media pages, my social media pages, and of course also some timestamps. And as per usual, I will get into all of my final thoughts and all that kind of stuff for the end of the video. Let's get into this one. First up, we have Feral Forest. Holo describes this one as a blackened, cool forest green in a semi-translucent, buildable Crelly formula. Feral Forest had a fantastic formula. As you see on that first coat, this one starts off a little bit uneven as it is in a Crelly base. I do think that Holo has perfected their Crelly formula just like I think they've perfected their cream formula. If you are new to Crelly finishes, they have kind of a squishy vibe similar to a sheer jelly, but they are able to build up and reach full opacity like a cream. I do find that Holo Crelly formulas are a little bit on the thicker side, kind of like how their creams are a little bit thick, but I still found application and formula on this to be fantastic. So I opted to build Feral Forest up in 3 coats. This is a 2 to 3 coater depending on your application style. I agree with Holo color description for this shade, but I will note in the bottle, I feel like this looks a little bit teal leaning, which I'm guessing is that kind of like cool tone in the base. I do wonder for folks who have a cool or maybe even olive leaning undertone if this might look a little bit teal on them. I found on me, it was definitely green though. Currently on the screen, we have Feral Forest paired with Shooting Star Taco, which is the topper for this release. I'm sure I'm not the only one who was wondering how this shade will compare to Holo other dark green, so I will have comparisons coming up. Feral Forest does dry down a little bit dull, so you will definitely want a glossy top coat to bring life back to the polish. And as Holo polishes are pretty dang pigmented, I would definitely recommend doubling up on your base coat to try to prevent any staining. This next polish is called Feeling Sparks, and Holo describes it as a magnetic polish with a deep red base, orange-red iridescent flakies, and gold copper magnetic pull. Feeling Sparks also had a fantastic formula. This polish is just Owen Wilson wow. Wow. Feeling Sparks has such strong indie nail polish vibes, and I absolutely love that for Holo. The magnetic pigment in here is absolutely gorgeous. It has a strong yellow-orange with a green coming in at more extreme angles. On top of there being iridescent flakies, I believe there's also a very light dusting of holographic in here. I did find that the flakies spread out very evenly and easily. I do wish there was just like a smidge more flakies in here, but overall I thought this was a really fun polish. It magnetized super easily for me with both the cat eye and the velvet effect. This is one of those magnetic polishes that do shear out a little bit when you magnetize them, so I would actually recommend building this one up in 3 coats. For all of my swatches that show the cat eye effect, that is in 2 coats, and then the velvet effect is in 3. I feel like Holo should do a do-over magnetic collection of polishes that are just in this kind of formula, but with like a smidge more flakies. Nothing in this polish is going to dry down overly textured. You will get like a smidge bit of texture due to the flakies. I would still recommend the soak off method or a peel off base coat. You don't really want to scrub these kind of polishes off. And now we have Boom Toasted, which Holo describes as a pale gold crystal jelly with a green gold orange iridescent shimmer and scattered holographic glitter. Boom Toasted also had a fantastic formula. There is something about this new crystal jelly formula that I'm absolutely in love with. The shimmer in these polishes have an almost crunchy look to them. I'm gonna say something that might be a little bit crazy, but I feel like if I put this in my mouth, it would be crunchy. What? I feel like those of you who were like me as a child who just put random things in their mouth, I feel like you understand what I'm trying to say there. Sure, Jan. I did find that Boom Toasted dries down relatively smooth. 1 coat of top coat should be good. This is a really fun shade because I feel like on its own, this looks very like Christmassy kind of gold. but you'll see later next to like Holo Taco's other gold, it does not look gold anymore. Like it leaned almost champagne-y, but I think that's just because it's a very light color and it's also color shifty. Removal for this shade is going to be pretty messy due to those shimmer particles, and once again, I would recommend the soak off method or a peel off base coat. And now we have Nature Calls, which Holo Taco describes as a dark muted navy jelly polish with a pale yellow pink iridescent shimmer and blue green iridescent flakies. Nature Calls also had a good but slightly thicker formula. It was a little bit uneven on that first coat, but I found it built up really nicely for me in 2 coats. The shimmer in this polish is a little bit larger in particle size, and the flakies are a bit small in particle size, so the overall look of this one looks kind of a bit like micro flakies. And I'm not generally the biggest lover of the appearance of micro flakies. The dark navy base in this polish isn't so dark that it's going to appear black, and I do think that the color of the flakies pairs really nicely with the base. I was kind of meh about this polish up until when I put Shooting Star Taco on top. I think the addition of the holographic made me like it a lot more. I found Nature Calls to be a 2-coater on me. Removal is not going to be overly difficult, but it sure will be messy if you try to scrub this one off. Use the soak off method or a peel off base coat. This next polish is called Off the Grid, and Holo Taco describes it as a magnetic polish with an indigo blue base, cyan shimmer, and an amber mauve magnetic pull. So the description of this one actually confused me a little bit. I had to go back and look to see what I was seeing in this one because what you're seeing on screen does not sound like that description at all. Unmagnetized, this polish has a very burgundy look to it, and then you see some cyan flakies. Once you magnetize this shade, that blue base really comes to play, and I find that the burgundy turns into this kind of burgundy reddish orangey color. I don't personally see a mauve color shift, but definitely something in the wine family. I feel like the orange color shift in the magnetic pull was a lot easier to see in the velvet effect. I'm going to call Off the Grid another 2 to 3 coater. I found Off the Grid to be significantly more opaque than the last magnetic in this collection, so for the cat eye effect you're seeing the polish in 2 coats, and for the velvet effect you're seeing it in 3. And one more time, removal is not going to be overly difficult, but it will be very messy if you choose to scrub it off. This next polish is called Stop Bugging, and Holo Taco describes it as a bright green metallic polish with a smooth, shiny micro flake. Stop Bugging also had a really great formula. It was a bit sheer and uneven on that first coat. I'm going to call this one a 2 to 3 coater depending on your personal preference and application style. For those of you with really short nails, I definitely think you can get full opacity with this one in 2 coats, but I found for me coverage was a little bit too uneven for me in 2 coats, so I opted to add a 3rd. While I really like this shade, I think it looks very fun, but I feel like the tone of this green, it doesn't give me necessarily campfire vibes. I feel like this is very like Christmassy. On top of this having a really nice metallic finish, there also are itty bitty little holographic glitters in here. It's a very delicate amount of holographic, but I definitely was seeing some twinkle action happening. When I applied Shooting Star Taco to this one, I immediately thought that Holo Taco should release Shooting Star Taco in a gold version, and I feel like that would be phenomenal for Christmas. Nothing in Stop Bugging is going to dry down texture. This dries down very, very flat. You will of course want glossy top coat to bring life back to the polish. Removal is not going to be overly difficult, but it will be messy. Use the soak off method. And the final polish in this collection is called Shooting Star Taco. Holo Taco describes this one as a silver holographic star-shaped glitter polish with silver scattered holographic in a clear base. Shooting Star Taco had a fantastic formula. To make sure that this applied properly for like the average user, I didn't run this one through my nail polish shaker before doing my swatches. On average for each dunk of the brush, I found I was getting about 2 stars out. When I had the bottle upside down, I was able to get 4 stars out. So if you want the most star payoff for this one, I would definitely recommend holding the bottle upside down for maybe about 15 minutes prior to applying it. Besides the holographic star-shaped glitters, I was also seeing at least 3 different types of holographic glitter in here. I saw some micro hexes, I think I was seeing flakies, and then also a holographic dusting as well. Because this is a glitter topper, it is going to dry down a bit textured, and you will of course want top coat on top of it to smooth everything out and to lock the glitters in. You will 100% want to do the soak off method to remove this one. These star-shaped glitters in particular, you will need to soak off a little bit longer than your typical glitter. First up for comparisons, we have Feeling Sparks. So right here we have Feeling Sparks, and then we have I'm Rover It or Bite Me, and right here I have Sacrificial Lacquer. If Sacrificial Lacquer looks like it's still wet, it's because I just remembered that Holo Taco had another red magnetic like 5 seconds ago, so I just swatched that out there. As you can see here, Holo Taco doesn't have anything similar to Feelin' Sparks at all. I suppose we could say the most similar color-wise would probably be Or Bite Me, but it's not the same finish at all. This is like an elevated version of Sacrificial Lacquer. And in my personal opinion, I think the magnetic pigment looks a lot cooler in Feelin' Sparks. For this next comparison, I opted to compare Off the Grid and Nature Calls together. So right here is Off the Grid and right here is Nature Calls. I thought the polishes I pulled up for Off the Grid were going to be more similar to Nature Calls, so that's why we've got this going on. Again, I didn't think Holo Taco had anything particularly similar to either of these polishes. This is just so I picked out that I thought would be similar color-wise that turned out to not be similar color-wise.
But anywho,
next up for comparisons, we have Stop Buggin'. For Stop Bugging, I pulled out Foiled Again and Teal With It. I thought the formulation of Stop Buggin' was going to be similar to the formulation of Teal With It, but I thought the color was going to be similar to Foiled Again. While I would say that Stop Buggin' and Foiled Again both have very like metallic flake vibes, I believe Foiled Again is in the Frosted Metals formula, and it also has little kind of gold flakes in there. So it has a more complex flaky combination. Next up for comparisons, we have Feral Forest. When I saw Feral Forest, I immediately thought of Monstera from the Julian collab. I was honestly surprised at how many dark greens Holo Taco has in their lineup, but as you can see, these are all different, plus also Feral Forest is also in the Crelly formula. So for all of these creams, they're in 1 to 2 coats, and then Feral Forest is in 3 coats. So anyway, what I pulled out are, we have Born Ugly, Monstera, Headhunter, and then Bring Me the Teal, which is obviously a teal, but it was pretty dark, so I just wanted to compare it anyway. And so you can see none of these are particularly all that similar, especially when you factor in these two over here are both discontinued. And the final batch of comparisons, we have Boom Toasted over here. And then next up we have Bottle Service, Frozen Bananas, and Gold Play Button. I just kind of pulled out Holo Taco's various like gold adjacent shades. None of these have the same formulas as the other ones. I had originally considered Boom Toasted to be in the gold spectrum, but seeing it next to like Holo Taco's other golds, even though this one doesn't look particularly golden, I feel like it's, because it's color shifty, it's not looking as gold in comparison to like Holo Taco's other golds. Holo Taco doesn't have anything similar to this topper at all, so I didn't bother pulling out any comparisons for it. Okie dokie, so final thoughts. I really love how indie nail polish coated this collection is. I don't know bumpkiss about camping, so I'm not going to speak on the theme. I feel like the overall color story looks really nice. I really like that we have a variety of finishes. I feel like for the people who are very strong in the they like boring nail polish, there's a little something for them. And for those of us who like a little more razzle dazzle and fun things happening, we have a lot of things for us as well. Stop Bugging and Boom Toasted do seem to lean like a little bit Christmas coated to me. I don't know if I would have necessarily said that I thought those felt Christmassy if I hadn't seen them like side by side, but those two polishes just feel very like Christmassy to me. I know Holo Taco doesn't generally do seasonal releases, so I'm not going to speak on the seasonality, although I would say, do people camp in the fall, right? That's a thing. I feel like camping in the fall would be nice. I don't know, I'm not a camper. I love that despite the lackluster reception of Holo Taco's last foray into star-shaped glitters, I really like that they tried again. As far as my own personal top picks, I feel like if you have watched my content for any amount of time, you probably can guess pretty quickly what I'm gonna pick as my personal top pick. And that is 1000% going to be Shooting Star Taco. Do I own perhaps maybe a ridiculous amount of silver holographic chunky glitter toppers? Mayhaps, mayhap. But for Holo Taco, I'm really excited that they have this in the lineup. I really hope it sells well so we get more chunky glitters from them. Feeling Sparks is also going to make it onto my top picks list. That was actually the first polish in this collection that I swatched, and I just was absolutely in love with it. I love the base color. I love the magnetic pigment. It applied beautifully. It looked beautifully. It looked gorgeous. I feel like for those of us who buy a lot from like smaller indie brands, boutique brands like Holo Taco don't often release anything that we haven't seen before from indie brands. However, I very firmly believe that Holo Taco, as well as Mooncat, are kind of gateway brands to people to discovering indie nail polish. And to be perfectly honest, when Christine first announced Holo Taco, polishes like Feeling Sparks is kind of what I thought that they would be releasing for Holo Taco. And I feel like it's taken us, is it 5 years, 6 years? 6 years. Yeah, I think it's been 6 years now. It's taken us 6 years to get here, but I'm very excited to see these more complicated style polishes coming from this brand.
Finally!
As I mentioned at the start of this video, Holo Taco is also releasing some new products. We have a new sticky base coat, as well as a new fragrance cuticle oil. The new cuticle oil, I believe, is the same ingredients lineup as Holo Taco's normal cuticle oil, but this one does have a s'mores fragrance. When I am picking up from this fragrance on this, it does have a bit of kind of not necessarily smoky, but like a fireside kind of scent to it. Like I feel like it is s'mores, but it also smells like a little bit toasty. I often find for Holo Taco's cuticle oil that these do tend to be fairly lightly fragranced. The brand has also done a birthday cake scent, but the normal oil is fragrance free if I'm remembering that right. So I do think for those of you who like lighter fragrances on your cuticle oil that's not like as like in your face, you probably would like this one. As a general rule, I usually prefer my cuticle oils to be a bit stronger in fragrance. I am not 100% sure on the price for this cuticle oil, so I'm going to put the price here on the screen because I'm fairly certain I'm still going to be editing this video when the collection goes live. As far as the sticky base coat, I don't actually have any information on this other than it is a sticky base coat.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
I did use this base coat when I was doing my swatches for this release. It applied really nicely and it does have like a slightly tacky finish. It also dries down a little bit matte on the nail. I got this collection last night, so I can't speak on things like longevity, wearability, or all the things. I did see on the ingredients list on the box for this that this does have PVB in it. I know a lot of people don't like PVB in their base coats, so like just so you're aware, this does have PVB in it. As far as pricing and sale information goes, this collection is available right now on the Holo Taco website and it is not limited edition. If you would like to pick up the bundle set of all 7 polishes plus the limited edition cuticle oil, that will be priced at $108. Since we are talking post price increase, the base coat is going to be priced at $13, and as far as I'm aware, that is not limited edition either, which honestly I feel like a limited edition base coat sounds rather silly now that I said that. Holo Taco's specialty toppers are priced at $14. Their Crelly polishes are going to be priced at $14. And Holo Taco's specialty nail polishes are priced between $15 and $16.50. I would love to know what everyone else thought of this release. Are you planning on picking it? Have you already picked it up? Are you waiting for Black Friday? Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to my channel members, Shenanigans, Stormy fans, your names of course all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that in the description box, or you can click join next to the subscribe button. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big ol' like and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And if you like things besides nail polish, I also post that on this channel as well, just a little enticement there. So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Also, I do want to show today's Twilight shirt of the day because I haven't done this in a minute. And here is today's Twilight shirt of the day. I'll have it linked in the description box in case anyone else is a Twilight fan. I don't know butt kiss. I think it's butt kiss. I think it's butt kiss. Bump kiss.
When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.